Real quick before we start the show, guys, we got a tweet from our good buddy Adam Olson, and it says, just started listening to episode 246. That was the episode with the text files guys, the last one. And
so he's a rookie.
Michael B was talking to us about unsolved mysteries.
I'm a Michael B.
Holy shit, you are.
But it wasn't me, guys. I didn't do it.
But he was talking about unsolved mysteries and how that got him started into the paranormal. So our buddy Adam sent us this. Just started listening to episode 246. Try this. Dial the Unsolved Mysteries phone number, 1-800-876-5353, which Robert Stack would end segments with. Wait 30 seconds. Sleep never. So Mike did it, and I haven't done that yet, but I have a phone hooked up to the mixer here, so we're going to call it and listen to it all together.
And we all get to listen to Mateo's real-time reaction, and hopefully he doesn't mess himself.
I may. That's probably due to Taco Bell and not this call, so I'm going to call it right now.
Service on this number has been suspended. Your call is now being disconnected.
I'm sorry, there's been a temporary problem processing your request.
Is that what it's supposed to say?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Whoa. Holy shit. What the fuck? It's a slowed down voice saying something. I don't even know if it's saying something. It's
a slow down voice, and what it says is, it looks like there was a problem with the system. Please hang up and try again.
That's what it said at the start of the call. Is that what the slowed down shit is saying? It's repeating it?
No, it says something a little different. But the slowed down part is, it looks like there's a problem with the system. Please hang up and try again.
Holy crap.
Because of some weird glitch, it sounds like some creepy growling and heavy breathing.
I'm going to have to speed that up and see what it says. If it says...
Yeah, put it in Audacity and speed it up. I can't remember. Because I actually read about it. I think you speed it up 400% or something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Shit.
And it's a female voice.
Well, that'll be played right now.
There's a problem with the system. Please hang up and try.
It looks like there was a problem with the system. Please hang up and try again.
All right, so thank you, Adam, for that. That was creepy as fuck. I wonder. I mean, I've never heard of anything like that on any phone call, and it just happens to be the old Unsolved Mysteries number that does that.
Yeah, I wonder if that was done intentionally, or if it really was some weird error that happened, and it just so happens to be the Unsolved Mysteries hotline.
That is fucking weird.
That is weird.
I wasn't expecting anything that unnerving.
Yeah. When I first, you sent it to me, and I immediately called it. And at first I got that message. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, that was a major letdown. But I stayed on the line, and then I started hearing the... And I was like, what the fuck is that? So I looked into it, and I found out what the deal was.
Oh, okay. Wow. Very interesting. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to sleep ever.
So, while he's not sleeping, how about we, hey, robot, play the theme music.
All right, guys. So tonight we're going to talk about the Boogeyman. When you were a kid, Mike, did your parents warn you about the Boogeyman?
No. When I was a kid, I was adamant that there was a monster in my closet, but not because I was afraid of it. I just wanted there to be a monster that lived in my closet.
Oh, there was nothing that led you to believe that there actually was something in your closet?
And not that I know of. I don't remember anything traumatic. I remember that the room that I had as a kid, it wasn't even a closet. It was like a small room off of the room that I had. So, and I remember I had a little table set up in there in a little toy box, and it had a window that overlooked the backyard. So it was pretty cool, actually, but I didn't have an actual closet. I mean, it could have been a walk-in closet with a window, but I was a little kid, so what the hell do I need a walk-in closet for? But I wanted there to be a monster in there, but there never was. And my mom would always tell me there wasn't. And she was right. And I went to bed disappointed every night.
Do you think the whole Boogeyman thing's a little bit before our time? Because my parents never told me anything like that either. I mean, if they...
Yeah, I definitely think it is. I really feel like the Boogeyman thing was of another generation. And I mean, the Boogeyman, as we know it, is derivative of several other similar characters throughout the world, really. Like, it seems like almost every culture has something similar to the Boogeyman.
The name the Boogeyman does not come from somebody with extensive nasal discharge or vivacious dance moves, or even lackluster Rob Zombie song titles, but it comes from the Middle English word hobgoblin, which we're all familiar with. And the early instance of that word is somewhere around 1530. And it's easy to believe that almost every country, like you said, has some type of dark entity or supernatural creature designed to keep naughty kids in line. But what's interesting is that almost all these countries have a name for the Boogeyman specifically.
Well, I wouldn't say it's the Boogeyman specifically. I mean, it's their version of the Boogeyman. When you really come down to it, I mean, the Krampus could be a Boogeyman.
Well, check all these names out that I found, because they all like very much sound like Boogeyman. The Scots call him Bogle. The Dutch call him Bowman. German calls him Butzerman. Norwegians Boosman. Danish Bussemand. Irish Bocan. Welsh Bwagan. Old Norse say Pookie. The Cornish say Pixie, which we're familiar with that word.
Right. Yeah.
Hungarians say Mummas. Slavics say Bogu. Russia is Buka. Siberian is Baku. Or Bayuk. Bayuk. Latvian is Bubalis. Lithuania is Baubas. Polish Bobo. Czech Bubak. Slavic is Bubak. Portuguese is Pau Pau. Italian is Babau. Ukrainian is Baban. Romanian is Bao Bao. So to me, this, I mean, it almost all sounds like it comes from the word boogie. Boogeyman. It sounds, it's not just like, I mean, like when I was a kid, I heard about El Cucuy, which is like a Mexican boogeyman, basically.
Right. Yeah.
But that's obviously nothing, that's not even close to Boogeyman, and all those were very similar.
It's all derivative of bug, which means goblin or a scarecrow, and then they put bear on it, and in some iterations this being was seen as a demon that would take the form of a bear and eat small children.
Why would it need to take the form of a bear when it's already a demon?
Because you can romp around as a bear in the woods and no one's gonna be like, oh shit, there's a demon.
Maybe. That's a good point.
You just kind of chill as a bear. They probably would have been better off being a deer, though. But a deer isn't really a fearsome creature of the woods, so you got to be somewhat scary if you're in the children eating business. So a bear is suitable, and you take the form of a bear, you chill in the woods next to some fucking berry bushes, and then the children are like, "Oh my god, look, it's blackberries!" And they're picking the berries in the woods, and then fucking bugbear jumps over the bushes and eats little Billy's face off.
Pardon my nerdiness, but isn't a bugbear a Dungeons and Dragons
You're
monster?
You're goddamn right it is. In Dungeons and Dragons, a bugbear is like this 7-foot tall goblin creature. Like, it's part of whatever the species that goblins and orcs are from. He's part of that as well. He's like the biggest version, but they're like 7 feet tall and huge, and they basically just look like massive goblins, big ears and all that shit.
So would you agree that some of those are very similar to Boogeyman or Bug? I mean, it almost seems like the same.
But those are all of those are European, so it would make sense. But then you get some that are like way out there, like the Pixie and Puck and Mummus. Like, those sound nothing like Boogeyman. So there's so many other ones that are so different, but they serve a similar purpose. And the boogeyman itself, it's never given a description. It's never given there's no way to identify the boogeyman. It's like this faceless horror that will take children away if they're bad. Unlike the Krampus, like I mentioned earlier, which serves the same purpose, but only around Christmas time. And everybody knows what he looks like. He's a black-skinned, demon-looking thing with one hoof and one foot, and he's creepy as hell. But this one, the boogeyman is all year round, and it was basically created as a way for parents to threaten their kids.
You don't think there's any link to maybe a real creature?
I mean, a lot of these, especially the bugbear link and all that, it ties to areas that already have an existing fairy lore of some sort. So it could be a way to explain away disappearances, like among the superstitious.
That's an interesting point, because when I was looking up the word hobgoblin, hobgoblin kind of means ugly fairy.
Yeah. But I mean, really, when you come down to like the traditional fairies, they're not little stick figures with wings and that look all sexy, except like 3 inches tall or whatever. They're an actual, like, it's more akin to like the difference between the pop culture leprechaun and what the real leprechaun was like. It's like that. We've got the pop culture version of fairies, which are the ones that are, the girls get the tattoos of, the the butterfly wings and all that shit. But then there's the real fairies, which dance in circles and steal people away or switch babies out for their babies that look all fucked up and weird.
Oh, they try to give humans their fairy babies?
Yeah, you never heard about changelings?
No.
They'll take away a human baby and then they'll leave like this weird fairy baby. It's like the size of a regular baby, but it looks weird and different. And as it grows up, it's not human. And they trick the humans into raising one of their fairy baby things.
Oh, that's crazy. And they keep this creepy little mutant baby around?
And they keep the human baby. They steal the human baby away.
What do they do with the human baby?
I don't know. Take it to the fairy realm, I guess. They're never seen again. So who knows what they do? Maybe they eat them.
Yeah, make baby pies.
Maybe, I mean, we've talked about the links to abduction many times. Maybe they take the babies as a way to figure out reproduction. Maybe the changelings are weird hybrids that got fucked up, and they're like, "Ooh, let's try that one again. Here, you take the shitty one. We want a good one."
Maybe these old-time people are just confusing abductions and trying to give them a face and a name and calling them fairies.
I think I said this recently on a show, though, but I feel like a lot of these situations with abductions and people disappearing, like the missing 411 thing, the alien abductions, the pixie abductions, I think it's all the same thing. And it's just we're looking at it through different filters.
That's very interesting. Like you said, you've talked about that before.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think back, like in the 1500s, people aren't going to know about fucking spaceships and people from other planets and shit.
Very true.
But they're aware of things that live on this earth that will take people away. But where did those come from? I mean, according to them, according to these legends, they live in their own realm that's outside of our world, and people can go there. And when you hear about people that wander into the fairy realm, they also experience missing time and time distortion. Like they'll be in the fairy realm for like 10 minutes and they come back and realize a full day has gone by.
Missing time.
Yeah, missing time and time distortion and just the whole abduction scenario. And in a lot of cases, they get lured into this other realm. And some of the missing 411 cases, you hear that people just disappear, going behind a tree, and they're gone. Like maybe this hole opened up, or maybe they saw this. And especially with little kids, because little kids are a big percentage of those missing 411 cases. A little kid wandering through the woods could go behind a tree, see this little person. He's like, hey, come follow me. And they're like, oh, shit, yeah, follow the fairy. And they go through this fucking tunnel in a tree and they're gone.
How fascinating is that? I mean, all these things that we hear about, like pixies and fairies and goblins and all that shit. How interesting is that it could just be them trying to name something that we know now today as alien abductions, or even, just anything, any type of paranormal activity. I mean, with any ghost experience that I've had, I never went, oh shit, that was the boogeyman. But maybe they did back then.
Yeah, but again, I just feel like the boogeyman is just like a placeholder. They're using it because it's never described. Well, I shouldn't say it's never described. In a lot of the European cases, it was not described. And it's just kind of referred to as the boogeyman. So you assume it's a male figure, but no form or description is ever given for it. So when you got the idea of something that is horrific and terrifying, you're not given a description, your imagination is going to fill that in. So if you're a kid who's frightened by the concept of this boogeyman, anything could be the boogeyman. That shadow in the corner of your bedroom at night could be the boogeyman. The wind that just catches your jacket makes it look like it's floating. That could be the boogeyman. That creak you heard outside your door, that could be the boogeyman. It makes it effective because you don't know what it looks like, you don't know where it's coming from, but you misbehave and your mom tells you that the boogeyman is going to be coming looking for you. Everything becomes the boogeyman.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe giving it no description is like a safety net and added fear to the entity of what the boogeyman is.
Yeah.
There's no way to know what's coming because we don't know what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had the heart to do anything like that to my kids. I mean, I'll joke around.
No, me neither.
If my daughter's touching something she's not supposed to, I'll be like, don't do that. Your fingers will fall off. And she'll go, really? And I go, no, not really, you psycho.
No, not really, but just stop touching.
Yeah. But I don't know, especially doing what we do. They know we talk about spooky stuff and
yeah,
they think I know about those things. And I don't want, if I say that, they go, oh, really? I don't have the heart to do that. I wonder how many of you listening have parents that told you about the boogeyman.
Yeah, if you guys heard about the boogeyman as a kid, please write to us and let us know. I am also curious how many people were told about the boogeyman, and also if you were told about the boogeyman, if you could give us an approximate age. I'm not saying give us an exact age, but just let us know whether you're older or younger than we are.
That we can just judge how messed up your parents are.
Yeah. I hope some of these young kids call in and be like, my parents told me about the boogeyman, because that would be awesome. Like some 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, well, these millennials deserve it. They should have some.
Fuck you, millennials. if you're in your 20s, just fuck right off.
So traditionally,
goddamn
the
youth having sons of bitches.
So traditionally, the boogeyman's just supposed to take kids.
Yeah, to some indeterminate place to do who knows what.
Wow. That's really fucked up. I mean, I've had my parents talk about ghosts when I was a kid, and that's another thing that has no description on what it's going to do with you. They're like, what, ooh, there could be a ghost here. But kind of like, what's the end result of that? I mean, I was listening to a podcast. It was a guy he's a mixed martial artist. He's a jiu-jitsu practitioner, and he was talking to somebody about ghosts. And to me, he said it the best. It was hilarious. He's like, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I can fuck up a living person. I can destroy their body. So if a ghost comes and they don't have a body, what kind of damage can they do to me? And it's funny when you're a kid, you don't think it through like that. Like if my parents would have told me, don't be bad because a boogeyman will get you, my mind instantly would have went like, really? The cops just allow that? This weird entity that just roams around cities and takes kids?
What are you going to do? You gotta arrest him? All right, boogeyman, come out with your hands up. It's time to go to the slammer.
Well, no, I mean...
Oh, shit, the buzz. Come on, little kid, hide me. No way, you just tried to eat me.
I would have thought that that's something that would have been handled. I don't...
It would have been the special paranormal division of my local police squad.
Who knows? But I mean, if there was something going around stealing kids, I don't think like metropolitan cities would exist. You know,
Keep your eyes peeled, son. The boogeyman could be anywhere.
can you imagine when you're watching TV and a news flash? Boogeyman
We're
sighting.
breaking news.
4
There's
kids.
been a boogeyman sighting. The police are on the scene.
Little Timmy was taken from his room because he wouldn't do his fucking homework.
Kids, please do your homework and listen to your parents, or the boogeyman will come for you.
Yeah, how long can you do that? Your kid's 14. Don't smoke cigarettes. The
Yeah,
Boogeyman.
don't smoke cigarettes, Tom.
Boogeyman loves
Mom,
little fuckers
that
who
may
smoke.
have worked when I was 5, but I'm goddamn 14 and there's no boogeyman. So then she convinces his dad to dress up like some creepy guy in his closet and
Oh,
chew on his toes in the middle of the night.
oh God.
I'm the boogeyman. Oh my god.
I chew on toes.
Yeah, I will eat your feet. But there are some instances where a character like the boogeyman is given a description. And one of them, which this is also one that's surprisingly kind of spread, a similar person or figure is spread over a pretty wide area. So he's called either the Sack Man or Bag Man, but he's looked at as being an old man with a sack on his back who carries naughty children away, and he eats them.
Ooh.
But it's really it's most popular in Spain and Portugal and Brazil, and there's some references to it in Latin America as well, where it's known as Hombre del Costal or
Ooh.
El Hombre del Saco.
So that wouldn't scare me either. I'll whoop an old man with a bag's ass when I was 14. Maybe not when I was 6, though. But I still wouldn't be scared of an old man.
Well, he's an impossibly ugly and skinny old man, so he can catch you off guard.
More reason to stay away from him.
But if he's in your room, how are you going to stay away from him?
Yeah, I guess he has teleporting abilities or...
Yeah. But this character is also known to people in Tunisia and Algeria. He's called the Bouchkara, which translated means bagman. And he takes children to some mysterious, scary place. Ooh, it's mysterious and scary. And then in Armenia and Georgia, which are near Russia, they're threatened by another figure called Bagman. And again, he carries away children who don't behave in a sack on his back. And then the one that you mentioned, I think you mentioned the Mumus or Mumus.
Yeah.
From Hungary. But that translated literally means the person with a sack.
Really?
Yeah. And then the Bebok or the Babok or the Bobok, they're all portrayed as a man with a sack on his back.
Sack back.
Yeah. It's kind of weird how this, but then again, I mean, the idea of if you've got something that's going to take someone away, what better way to describe it to a kid than say he's going to throw you in a bag over his back and take you away?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but it's, and then there's the Zwart Piet, the Black Pete, who is like, he's like the Krampus basically, but he's from the Netherlands.
Is he equipped with a sack as well?
Of course he is. He takes the fucking asshole kids away.
It's a little touch of Krampus there. He's got that wicker basket on his back.
He's basically the Krampus of the Netherlands.
Hmm.
And then Switzerland has their own as well, named the Schmutz. I think the Schmutzli.
Oh, sounds like a homeless beggar guy. Look at that Schmutzli.
I'm Schmutzli. Give me some change.
Let me wash your window for some change. I'm Schmutzli.
I just want a sandwich. Just give me some change for a sandwich. Oh, give me a sandwich.
Or I'll put you in my fucking sack.
Yeah. Because you're an asshole if you don't give the guy a sandwich, so you deserve to go in that bag.
I
Get in the bag.
usually
Get
don't
in
walk
the
around
bag.
carrying sandwiches, but if I did,
Yeah.
and the guy was like, I'm Smoochly, I'd be like, here,
Maybe
take
you
my
should.
sandwich.
Maybe you should start carrying sandwiches for Smoochly.
Yeah, sandwiches for Smoochly. It's the new emo band. Album drops next year.
It's also the name of our next telethon.
Please send us your sandwiches. There's millions and millions of starving Smoochlys.
Yeah, there are. They're wicked hungry, and if we don't feed them, they'll eat our children.
Now you have to help.
Yeah, you don't want do it for the children.
PBJ, salami, it doesn't matter. He doesn't eat those. He eats the babies. It's just a principle question. You got a sandwich? I need a sandwich. What if you give it to him and just throws it on the floor? He's like, thanks. You're safe.
I just wanted to see if you'd give it to me. Your sandwiches suck.
Subway
He
only.
just steps on it and walks away.
Smoochly's a jerk.
He is too. He's not even hungry. Probably doesn't even need to eat. Probably just chews up kids and spits them out like an asshole.
He's just testing your kindness.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, we need like something like this for adults, right? It's called the cops.
Would
I
it
guess.
work? It wouldn't work on adults though. But it's what's really crazy to me though is how many different types of creatures that do the same thing are in Latin America. So there's the Sackman, like I mentioned. Then there's El Cucuy that you mentioned earlier, which is like the boogeyman, basically.
Mhm. That's my wife's familiar with that. I mean, when I told her we're going to do a show about the boogeyman, she went, "Ooh, El Cucuy." You know, I used to have a shirt of Chupacabras and El Cucuy, and they're walking side by side, and they always depicted him as like a bipedal frog.
Huh.
Yeah.
The name, I don't know if you knew this or not, but the name comes from Coco, C-O-C-O, which is a ghost with a pumpkin head.
Ooh.
And coconuts were actually named after this ghost because if you look at the ripe coconut, it's furry and it's got that, it looks like a face on the end. So they said that, you know, they compared it to Coco, the goat, El Coco, which is this ghost with the pumpkin head.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's weird. But El Cucuy himself, he's kind of ambiguously described. He's mostly just known as an evil monster that hides under the bed, and he will steal or eat, depending on how much of a dick your parents are. He's either going to take you away or eat you. But he preys on children that don't obey their parents or go to sleep at their bedtime.
Ooh, very specific.
He's a stickler for the rules, that one.
Yeah.
It's almost like the parents created him to enforce their rules.
I wonder if there's so many different entities like this because they're assigned specific jobs, like kids who scratch their ass in public, kids who don't go to bed. They're all different creatures that'll come get them.
Maybe.
Hmm.
But then again, maybe not.
I'd love if some weird entity started doing that. Something started stealing kids. I mean, when Slenderman first came out.
What a dick. I would love if there was something that really stole
That would
kids
be awesome.
away.
Yeah.
That'd be the best. Fuck you, kids. You suck.
When Slenderman came out, I was like, that's a type of boogeyman. Because it would take
really,
kids.
in a way.
Yeah, he was taking kids. You know, Boogeyman's not snatching 20-year-olds in the woods drinking beer, according to any of the cool writings.
But I mean, even outside of the boogeyman, there's like so many different things that are used throughout the world to scare children to being good kids, and it's fucking bullshit, man. So in the country Albania, for instance, they have 3 different things that they scare their kids with. There's the booba, which is a giant serpent monster, and it takes children that are loud and obnoxious. So if you're annoying your mom by being too loud, she'll tell you the booba's going to come get you. And then there's the gogol, which is a huge giant that comes and scares kids that are not being good. until they behave themselves. So he doesn't eat them. He just scares them. Like he probably hides around the corner, and when they go there, he's like, like, oh my God. He's like, no, behave or I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that was terrible. And you're scary. You're a giant. And then they've got one that's called the Lubia, which is a female demon that eats children. That's like her specialty, but she mostly prefers little girls.
Oh.
And on top of that, this demon has many heads. She can have anywhere from 7 heads to 100 heads.
Whoa.
But if you cut one of her heads off, like the Hydra, more grow back to take its place.
Oh, see, that's way scarier. It's indestructible. As a kid, that'd be way worse.
Especially if you're a little girl. Like that, she doesn't really give a shit about little boys if a little girl is there. She's like, oh, you know what? You may be an asshole, but I see a little girl next to you, and I'm going to eat the shit out of her. Oh, it's going to be good.
She looks like a little plate of lasagna. I'm going to eat that shit right up.
One of my favorite ones, it's you know, going along with this stuff with beings that steal away asshole kids. But in the Bahamas, there's this being called the Small Man, and he's this little guy who rides around on a self-propelled cart, and he picks up any children that are outside after sundown, and any children that he picks up become small like him and have to ride on the back of his cart forever.
Oh shit, he's mobile.
Yeah. There's a term that they use in the Bahamas to scare children that are misbehaving, and they'll just refer to the rolling cart. You don't want the rolling cart to come through to pick you up.
Oh shit!
Oh my God, the little man, the small man. I
don't want to be a small man too.
Yeah, that's no. There's one that's kind of interesting. It's in Belgium. It's called Old Red Eyes.
Sounds promising.
Yeah, it's a cannibalistic shapeshifter.
Oh.
And it's able to switch forms between human and a black dog.
Huh.
So that kind of ties in with a lot of the black dog legends as well.
Yeah, that one sounds a lot more serious.
But this guy was, his specialty was eating children who stayed up past their bedtime. So again, it's just parents wanting their kids to shut the fuck up and go to bed. Go to bed, or the black dog human thing is going to eat you.
Jeez, I've never really had that much trouble getting my children to go to bed.
My oldest was a fucking handful.
Oh yeah.
You'd get him to go to bed. Within 5 minutes, he'd come out, and he would ask you some nonsensical question like, "What are we gonna do next Thursday?" I don't fucking know. Go to bed. Why are you worrying about next Thursday right now? And then when I would yell at him for getting up 12 more times, asking stupid questions or saying he needs a drink of water, but passing the bathroom to come out and tell me that he has to get a drink of water instead of just going into the bathroom and get, like, it was all a game. Like, any way that he could to get up a million times. And then once I told him not to get up anymore and I got all fed up with it, he would start calling me, and then he would not stop calling me until I went in.
Oh,
wow. For like, from the time he was probably like 5 to 7, that was his thing. Every single night. That's what I dealt with. But he's fine now because he's almost 13, so he fucking better be able to take care of himself at this point. God damn, you don't need to tell me you're getting a drink, you 13-year-old son of a bitch.
That leads me to a question for you, because I mean, like you were talking about earlier with the monster in your closet.
Yeah.
And I mean, my sister said that there was a monster in her closet. Have your kids ever had to deal with anything like that, or talk to you anything about like that? Maybe not, a boogeyman.
My oldest used to refer to the ugly boy, and I don't know where this came from, but he used to say he didn't want to go out in my kitchen because the ugly boy lives out there.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that used to freak out my girlfriend, but I just thought it was like something he made up, and I never saw an ugly boy in my kitchen. So I don't know.
Only in the mirror.
Every day of my life.
You're all, that's just me, son. Okay? You don't have to insult me.
Yeah. Thanks, Dick. That was me sitting in a chair, eating my dinner. Why do you hate me?
See, my kids told me something weird like that. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've had so many experiences with odd things like that. I would kind of, I don't know, maybe pay a little bit more attention. My youngest there's been a couple times recently, I'd say within the past month and a half, she's told me, she would come to me calmly, never scared. She'd be like, Dad, I saw something weird. And it's always something like I went downstairs to my car and she came to see if I had come back yet. And she told me, Dad, I saw you walk past the door. And I was like, I was downstairs. She was like, I saw you though. I saw your arm. Like you just walked out the door and were walking to go downstairs. I was like, it's we're upstairs. There's nobody else up here. And I was like, was it just like another person? She goes, no, it was your arm. It had your tattoos on it. And I was 50, 60 feet away at my car. Just weird stuff like that. And I told her,
That
okay.
is weird.
Yeah. There's a couple of things like that. Like she said that she saw, when we were driving, she said she saw a little boy and she said he was very white. He was very pale. And for me, I won't dismiss that so quick. I go, okay. I tell her sometimes, why don't you draw me a picture of that so I can see what you're talking about? And she hasn't yet. I don't know if she's hesitant to or she doesn't want to. She always says, yeah, okay. But I don't know. Would something like that make you go? I mean, like, of course I tell her, it's nothing, don't worry about that stuff.
Yeah.
But since, I'm not saying I'm a sensitive or a fucking medium or anything like that. But maybe she has a perception to see those types of things like I did when I was younger.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it is always said that children are more perceptive to that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you remember, but my youngest used to have night terrors. And
I remember that. I mean, when we first started recording, there was a few times where you're like, I gotta go. I'll be right back.
Yeah, because he would have a night terror. And sometimes he would just be like, he'd be freaking out, but he would just be staring at one part. Like he sleeps on the bottom bunk of a bunk bed. And one time he was really freaking out. I could not get him to calm down, but he just kept looking between the rungs of the ladder at the back of the bed, going up to the top bunk. And he was just looking between there. But he would never communicate with me what was freaking him out or why he was upset. He would just be freaking out. And then typically what I'd have to do is just get him up and have him walk around. And walking around would kind of bring him back and he'd be fine after that.
Did he seem like half asleep almost? Maybe it was like a dream-related type thing or?
No, he was wide awake. He was asleep and then he just woke up freaking out. It's not like a bad dream. It's different from a bad dream because there's no recollection of it. You don't know what you're freaking out about. You just wake up and you're terrified. And so like he would wake up screaming and crying, and then I'd have to go in there and bring him out of it and walk him around, and then he'd be fine. It's a sleep disorder type of thing, like sleep paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
But it only lasted in him for about a year and a half, and it wasn't every night. It was like maybe once a week it would happen. But at first it really freaked me out because I didn't know what the deal was. Like he's just freaking out, and I'm like, why are you freaking out? What's going on? I had no idea. And then I came to realize he was having night terrors.
Yeah, maybe if I can find some videos on YouTube. If you guys aren't familiar with night terrors, I mean, it's way worse than having a super bad nightmare. Night terrors are serious stuff. That sucks. I suffer from nightmares. I have nightmares pretty much every time I go to fucking sleep. I've had some weird ones lately, too.
Dude, I haven't had any nightmares in a very long time.
Anytime I dream, it's a fucking nightmare. Like I was having some weird ones lately. I had a dream, not last night, but the night before, to where my youngest came out of her room into the living room where I was, and she was like, Dad, come here. Mom says she sees something on my chest, something weird on my chest. And I was like, okay, let me see. And she goes, no, come here. I go, no, let me see. And she shows me her chest, and there's nothing there. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And then my wife calls me into our room, and she goes, you need to see this. So she puts my daughter in front of a window that's in our room. And as soon as my daughter gets there and stands still, a huge light shines from outside through the window, and it kind of makes my daughter transparent, and I can see like an x-ray of a foot that's in her chest, and the toes are moving back and forth. And I woke up instantly. I've talked about before many times, we've had Kev on, and I've done a lot of work to be able to wake up from my nightmares because I have them so often.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to wake up right after that. But just weird shit like that. I had a dream, I think on Monday, to where there's a bunch of people in our house, but there's this one old lady dressed in older time period clothes, and she kept telling me that she was going to take my daughter. And I didn't have a problem that all these people were there, that she was there. And I was like, you can fucking try. I mean, she's like 5 feet tall. I was like, I'll fucking thumb your fucking eyeballs out. You're not touching my daughter. And she grabbed my daughter, and I threw a punch at her, and my hand went right through her like she wasn't there. And it slowly sunk in that I was powerless to stop her from grabbing my daughter. Just weird shit like that constantly. Every time I go to fucking sleep, I hate it.
Do you ever have dreams? Like, have you had a nightmare as an adult of something that scared you as a kid?
I've had a lot of reoccurring dreams that I had when I was a kid, and I've had them as an adult. We've talked about those before, right?
Yeah.
So, but actually, now that you mention it, I don't remember it. I have a lot of trouble remembering the nightmares I have. Like I said, I don't dream. If I dream, it's a nightmare. But I remember waking up and telling my wife, I said, I had a nightmare that I used to have when I was a kid. So I guess, yeah. Only that one time, though. I wish I could remember, but I don't know what it was.
I had a dream. It was probably, it was probably a year ago, maybe a little more than a year ago. But when I was a kid, like around the age of 10, Freddy Krueger was like the scariest thing to me. Freddy Krueger and Pennywise the Clown. Those were like my two biggest fears as a child.
I get Freddy Krueger, not Pennywise. Pennywise never scared me.
Oh my God, dude. When that came out on TV, holy fuck. I was terrified. But Freddy Krueger really got me too. And I had a dream fairly recently with Freddy Krueger, which is fucking weird as an adult to be having a nightmare about Freddy Krueger chasing you.
Yeah.
And it was one of those dreams where you're running and like you're putting everything into it, but you're not going anywhere. And then of course I was like in the middle of this big field. It was all like overgrown with weeds and grass and shit, like waist high plants all over the place. And I'm running, and he's coming up and he's catching up to me, and I fall, and he was standing over me with his claw. And then I woke up. I woke up and I was like, usually when you wake up from a nightmare, you're kind of like, oh God. And it takes a minute to come out of that. Like I woke up more like, what the fuck? Why was I having a nightmare about Freddy Krueger? Like he doesn't scare me at all anymore. Like it was weird. Like I didn't even wake up unnerved. I was just like, what is going on?
That's funny.
Yeah. But as a kid, man, oh my God. Freddy, like I could not sleep at night because of Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, same
because
here.
If you sleep, that's when he gets you.
Yeah, that's one thing that did it for me. Is not his fucking claw hand or his burnt up skin. Was that he can access any of us because we all go to sleep.
There's no, and that was always the thing. There's no escape. That's what scared me the most. Like with people, like Jason never scared me because just don't get caught by Jason.
Yeah.
Like those types of things, they never scared me because it was something that was physical, and if you were smart, you would most likely survive. But then you've got Freddy, which is fucking, it's what are you gonna do? It's an intangible thing that tries to kill you in your dreams, and if he kills you in your dreams, you're fucking dead for reals.
That's true. I wonder why, because I totally agree. I wasn't scared of Jason Voorhees. I wasn't scared of Michael Myers. It was fucking Freddy Krueger. And isn't that a little bit more comforting to know that it's only in your dreams and it could be a dream, other than Michael Myers or Jason just juggernauting towards you, not being able to stop it and actually killing you while you're awake and shit? I wonder why Freddy was so scary.
He was the boogeyman.
Very true.
He was used to But then again, you're not going to use Freddy Krueger to make kids go to bed.
It's the whole thing about this thing, scaring kids into behave, it doesn't seem productive. You were talking about how most of them are used to get kids to go to bed on time, but saying that the sack man is going to come fucking eat you is not going to help me go to sleep.
Yeah. Threatening me with some monster. It's like, that's a lot of pressure. Go to sleep right now.
Yeah.
But I can't, I'm not tired. Go to sleep or you're going to get eaten by a monster. Oh my God, I'm really not going to sleep now. My life is contingent on whether or not I fall asleep. How's that going to make me fall asleep?
Yeah, now I might die? Great.
Yeah.
Well, to remain off subject, have you ever had a dream to where something that usually wakes you up doesn't wake you up?
What, like a fall or something?
Yeah.
Or you're going to die?
Yeah, something like that.
No. I always wake up when I'm supposed to wake up.
I remember I had a dream once. I was in a car going over this really tall overpass in the area I used to live. It was really tall. I had a lot of friends who would spend another 20 minutes getting somewhere, so they'd skip going over this overpass. But in the dream, I was going over the overpass, and it's a big turn to the left as you go over this overpass. And halfway up it, the car wouldn't turn anymore. So I'd plow right off the edge of this overpass. And, I'd be dreaming, but you can feel falling in this car all the way to the ground. And when it would smash into the ground, I wouldn't wake up. And I must have driven off this overpass about 50 times. And each time it was a different car. But I remember waking up sore from flinching so much, from hitting the ground so many times. I mean, hitting the ground, rolling 4 or 5 times. Some of them ended short because part of the car fell on my head as it rolled. Like from when I went to sleep to when I woke up, it was just this repeat of crashing. You ever hear of anything like that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, well, I guess not that scenario exactly. One of my kids was telling me recently they had a dream where they were falling, but they didn't wake up. But I mean, there's that old myth that if you fall and you hit, you die, but he's still here, so...
Yeah.
That myth can go take a flying leap.
Maybe we should get like a dream specialist on or something like that.
Dude, that'd be great. We should get...
They're going to commit me, dude.
We should do that.
They're going to lock me up with all the nightmares I have. Scarier ones are like killing people. I don't want to kill people or go to jail forever or be executed. I consider those nightmares,
Yeah.
I remember one dream I had to where I pull up to like a really ran down abandoned house and I pull like garbage bags full of body parts out of the trunk. And for some reason in a dream, it takes like 20 minutes to get inside, like just walking, get inside this house. And I end up getting into like the crawl space of the walls and I'm storing all these bags in there. And in the dream, it didn't scare me yet, but I remember when I was leaving, I look at the outside of the wall, like, the wall that's in the room that's visible from being in the room. And there's just a huge red stain. And I was like, shit, now I'm caught. And that freaked me out.
Like you killed somebody and the red stain was the blood that was going to link you to the murder?
All the body parts I was stuffing inside of the walls was people that I've killed in the dream, I guess.
Damn.
Yeah, that was
Maybe
scary.
you're the boogeyman, Mateo. Holy fuck.
Do you remember that weird dream I had with you in it that I told you about not too long ago? That one was fucking weird.
Which I don't recall.
We were called to meet at this place. Some people called us and they said they wanted to tell us a story, some type of paranormal thing. And we pull up to this place and it's like an old abandoned house. And we're just like, okay, here, cool, we're here. We weren't tripping that it was like midnight in this fucking lonely road where this fucking solo house was. But we get out and we go inside and there's a guy and a girl in there and they start talking to us and then boom, the dream restarts. And it restarts and we pull up in a car and we walk up to this house. We go inside and there's a guy and girl in there and they start telling us a story and it just kept repeating. But what was weird is like, I think like on the 5th time as we park, I go, wait a minute, Mike, something's not right here. And you're like, dude, just never mind. Let's just go in and talk to these people. And we go in and they're talking to us and then boom, they disappear. And then boom, the dream restarts. And it went like that for hours. But it was weird because it eventually, like, you would say something was wrong or we shouldn't be here. And the severity of the bad feeling increased with every time it repeated, to where, like, we pulled up and we were just like, fuck this, we're getting out of here.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Fuck this, we're going to get a dream specialist on if we can find one. Even if any of you listeners have studied dreams, let us know. Dreams have always been fascinating to me, but...
Yeah, if you guys don't let us know if you're a dream specialist, you're going to end up with an episode where we just open up a dream dictionary and just read it. That's going to be the episode, us reading a dream dictionary.
Yeah.
You guys don't want that, so speak up now.
All of them are death for me. They're like, yep, that means you're going to die. I dreamt of a cat that had a snail shell. Yep, that's death. Certain death for you, Mateo. So maybe we shouldn't get a dream specialist on.
No, we definitely should. I want her to be cut deep. Or I don't know why I say her, like only women are dream specialists, but I want her to cut you deep, Mateo. Just cut you right down.
The dreams do that enough. Maybe that's the boogeyman in adulthood. Maybe it's like, maybe not so much of a thing like Freddy Krueger, like an entity that does that, but maybe that's what nightmares are.
Maybe that's what you are. Oh shit, Mateo. I got you, you Freddy Krueger motherfucker.
Thank you for listening to the Whatcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube. Enjoy the podcast. Get yourself a Whatcast t-shirt or a sticker pack. Who was that dude on that one episode? Try the links in Homie's page. All this and more can be found at www.thewhatcasters.com. Thanks again for listening and have a great week.